There are nights when the sky forgets how to breathe, nights when stars don't shine and they fall. Some people look away, others listen, because sometimes the universe whispers back. This is the story of three boys who did, three souls who saw the stars fall and never looked at the world the same way again. They lived in a small coastal town that seemed frozen in time. Ren, Kyle, and Toru. Three friends who spent their days drawing constellations in the sand and talking to the sea as if it could answer. Ren was fearless, the kind of boy who ran toward storms. Kyle was quiet, always observing, always wondering. Toru was the bridge between them, laughter in human form. That summer everything changed because the sky began to burn. It started on the night of the crimson shower, a meteor storm so bright it painted the sea in fire. The power went out, but no one cared. The whole town stood outside, faces glowing under a red sky. Ren ran to the cliffs. "Let's go!" he shouted. Kyle followed, holding his old camera. Toru hesitated, but went anyway. They reached the top. The stars were raining down like living embers. Then one star slowed, almost hovering above the horizon, pulsing, alive. It fell into the sea, and Ren swore he heard it speak. Not words, but a voice. A name carried by the wind. The next morning the ocean glowed faint blue. Tiny fragments drifted near the shore like dust from another world. Kyle took pictures. When he developed them, the shapes looked like constellations, ones that didn't exist in any chart. Ren said it was a message. Toru said it was just the light playing tricks. Kyle stayed silent, but deep down, something inside him shifted. Night after night they returned. The whispers grew louder, the air heavier, and one evening, hidden near the cliffs, they found a small crater. Inside, a black stone pulsed with blue veins of light. Ren touched it. The world froze. The sea disappeared. And for one impossible moment, the three floated in a void of stars. They saw cities in the sky, oceans of glass, and a giant shadow that swallowed everything. Then, silence. When they woke, the stone was gone. Only a burned mark remained on the earth, shaped like a heart. The days after felt strange. Ren stopped sleeping. He claimed the stars were calling him. Kyle's photos began to show shapes no one else could see. And Toru started seeing reflections of himself in places he wasn't. The town grew quieter. People vanished without a trace. Even the sea lost its color. It was as if the world itself was being rewritten. One night, Ren stood again on the cliff. His eyes were glowing faintly blue. "They're calling," he said softly. "The stars. They want me to follow." Kyle tried to stop him. "Follow where?" Ren smiled, tears in his eyes. "Home." He stepped forward, and instead of falling, he rose. A burst of light swallowed him, and he was gone. Toru left the next day, terrified. Kyle stayed. He couldn't leave, not while the stars still whispered his name. Years passed. The sea returned to normal. The town disappeared from maps. But every year on the same night the stars fell, Kyle climbed the cliff. He brought his old camera and waited. One night, a single blue star blinked above the ocean. Kyle raised his camera, whispering, "Ren, are you there?" The star pulsed twice, like a heartbeat, and for the first time Kyle smiled, because he finally understood. The stars weren't falling, they were returning. People say when a star falls it dies, but Kyle knew better. Some stars are simply finding their way home. Maybe Ren wasn't gone. Maybe he had crossed to that place they saw, where sky and soul become one. And maybe every time we look up and feel something in our chest, that's not distance. It's memory. The boys who saw the stars fall. A story about friendship, loss, and the infinite echo of those who dared to look up. Because sometimes, when we gaze at the stars, they gaze back.